Today, I have a very exciting video prepared for you because we're going to talk about searching for the bear market bottom and how you can make the most of it to get a very good average purchase price for a dollar cost average entry in Bitcoin, Ethereum, or other coins. Today, I'll show you specifically with Bitcoin how I will set up a bot. I do all of this using a DCA bot that handles everything fully automatically for me. I already have a video about this on my channel. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would of course be absolutely thrilled if you left a subscription. I have a lot of passive income strategies, but check out the first video, 100% passive income on autopilot. In that video, I explain this strategy in detail, how I've been doing it for over 2 years now, and you'll also see some results there. But what I want to show you today isn't actually the strategy I usually use, where I always take 1% take profit each time. No, I've prepared something, also from the last bear market, showing how you can use it and where the average purchase price would be. If I simply use this bot so that it automatically buys for me using dollar cost averaging, because none of us will know exactly where the bear market bottom is. Many of you out there, of course, don't want to deal with the stress of saying, okay, where could our stop be? Where can I buy in? You start to panic. Could it go even lower? Should I not buy yet? Or will we have a quick drop and then recover as well? And maybe I missed it. And I can avoid that with this type of trading bot, which works on Bitget, but also on PIONEX. Today, I'll show you on both exchanges how you can set this up. But since I have a fully automated bot working here without any stress, it accumulates Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever else for me. And accordingly, I've prepared a few things here. The backtest that I'm going to show you is based on the bear market because we had several bear flags here as a small example based on the analysis, so you can also see how we proceed. We had a few bear flags here, and here again a small bear flag before the final leg down came and the bear market bottom was reached. And a bear market bottom like this one here, that's something I'm still missing at the moment. And accordingly, that's also the case with this current analysis. We had a bear flag here, another bear flag, and now we would be forming one again. If we really continue to go down, then we would have a bottom somewhere here, or maybe even lower. But where do I find a good bottom? I'll show you a strategy I use based on Fibonacci. But what's even more important, of course, we're interested in the liquidation heat map. I got the pro subscription here on Coinglass. With that, I have access to the 2-year liquidation heat map, and we can see that there's quite a bit of liquidity at 53,000 and 54,000, and there's still a lot around 47,000. But up here at 58,000, for me, that's already a very good entry price. And I'll show you based on how I set it up at 58,000 US dollars, if we get there, how I will start the bot. But before that, I want to show you in the back test, because here I am now at the August 21st, or rather the first trade was on the August 22nd. What would it look like if we included the last bear market, saying, okay, we break down out of the bear flag and I want to start opening my dollar cost averaging bot so that it automatically buys for me. And if we now say we're roughly in this area here, the last major bear flag after a massive drawdown, and then it goes much further down, and we don't know when the bottom will occur. Will it be a quick drawdown and then we recover? Or will we have a long sideways phase with another price drop that causes one last panic move, and I just don't know when I should buy? Because during this panic move here, a lot of people will already get weak and won't even know how much further it could drop. And this way, I can have the bot automatically buy Bitcoins for me, and I can then, and this is the big advantage, take them out of my trading bot that is currently running. I can show you this in the example, but I have also prepared an example with PIONEX. I don't have to send them to take profit. Instead, I can simply say that when I end this bot, in this case, I just withdraw my Ethereum so that it moves to my spot account, and then I can simply let it sit there. And now, let's go through this as a small example using the last bear market, the bear market from 2022. If I say we're now breaking out of the bear flag and then I want to start with the dollar cost averaging purchases. For myself, I have now chosen the 23rd of August. That would be roughly here, after this breakdown, a slight recovery. And that's where I want this bot to start. And here you can see what actually happened there. I'm now here on the 4-hour chart, so you can see it. That was the August 23rd in the year 2022. And what did it actually do then? It did nothing other than, in my case, the setting here was 0. Every 0.7% it bought a certain amount of Bitcoin. And you can see how far it went down. It then bought 22 times. You think to yourself, okay, the recovery is already happening. But then it dropped massively again, and we were able to buy in once more at very good low prices. And we can see that now in this example. We bought in 44 times out of my 50 preset orders. After that, we had a long sideways trend before the price started to rise, and in this case, it would show here that there is a take profit. But I'll show you later in the video that I wouldn't actually take the take profit, because that would be a 200% take profit, as I have set it here. But I don't want that. I would set it in advance. But then I would simply take out the Bitcoins that I have accumulated very well during the price increase and transfer them to the spot account. And now what interests us is, okay, in this case, if I say I started buying at around 21 to 22,000 US dollars, where would my average purchase price be? You can find that out very easily on Bitget. How do you access these trading bots? I want to show that as well. You go here to trading bots, then you have the spot martingale bot, you select the coin, and then you go to manual. In my case, I now say that I want to buy every time the price drops by 0.7%. In this case, however, I would set the take profit to 200%. For me, that doesn't mean I want to realize it already. Of course, you can do that, but then it sells those Bitcoins, and if Bitcoin keeps rising, I obviously have fewer profits than I would actually like to have. But for now, I'll leave the settings as I would normally use them, but we'll also go through a live setup together. This is just the example from 2021 that I prepared here. Before we continue, because I forgot to mention something in the whole video, what is actually the minimum investment for such a trading bot? That's what I want to show you. You can see here, if I remove the preset, that the minimum investment per order would be 1.06 US dollars in this case, and it's the same here with PIONEX. I want to show you that as well. In this case, for all the settings that I'll show you later, the minimum investment for this trading bot is just under 40 US dollars. So you can start with a very, very small budget because not everyone has large amounts set aside and maybe you just want to test it out first. If I now say, okay, I'm willing to invest around 5,000 US dollars in this bot, with 50 buy orders, I want to buy in 50 times, that means it would buy down 35%, and for the base order, it's 100 US dollars. And the safety orders, which would also be triggered 50 times, are also $100 each. If I leave everything as it is now, then I'd like to know, what would my average purchase price be? To find out, I can go into the preview mode here. There you can also see how far down it would actually buy in. Specifically, the 50th buy order would be at a price of 13,871 US dollars. The preset 200% take profit would then be here at 51,000 US dollars, which is of course very nice, but I don't see my average purchase price here. And there's a little trick for that, very simple. I can use this single cycle take profit target, I just have to enter at least 0.2%. That's the smallest amount I can set. And when I then go to the preview and we take another look, it has bought in up to 45 times here, I think I said. It bought in 44 times here. Then let's take a look at that. If it buys in 44 times now, the starting price here was 21,340 US dollars, and if it bought in 44 times, which would be right here, it would have made its last purchase at 14,767 US dollars, and my average purchase price in that case would have been just under 17,878 US dollars, so 0.2% below that range. That would be for the bear market bottom, where we know our bear market bottom was, in this case, where was it? In this case, it was exactly here at around 15,500 US dollars. If you then imagine having an average purchase price of around 17,600 US dollars, that's obviously extremely brilliant. And I can do this with any coin. You just have to be careful with altcoins. That's why I mostly do it only with Bitcoin and Ethereum to accumulate these coins without having to pay much attention to the price. This would now be the simplest method to buy more in the spot market. There are no multipliers or anything like that here. It's a very simple method without me really having the stress of watching the chart because I just let the bot buy for me without any emotions. What's important here is that I turn off seller termination and also turn off auto renewal with profit. But I don't need that anyway because I can set my bot to 200%, 300%. Why is that? I want to show you that when I go to the running bots. Now here, for example, this new Ethereum bot has already collected $34 in profit, but with a completely different strategy using a 1% take profit. I could now say, I want to stop this bot, click here on terminate, then it asks me, do you want me to sell the collected Ethereum for you? In this case, 0.2785 Ethereum, or do you want to sell them manually? If I click this here and close this bot, nothing else happens except that this Ethereum, these 0.2785 Ethereum, are transferred to my spot account. And I hope you now understand what I mean, because in this example we have here, where I actually have this green take profit line, I don't even want to use it. I'm not interested in that at all, because if I have such a good average purchase price, I want to take my Ethereum or Bitcoins, no matter what I'm using, out of the pot, and then they should just ride the entire bull market upwards. Because if we calculate what happened in the last bull market, if I exit here and then calculate that I have an average purchase price of about 17,000 US dollars, as we just said, a little above that, and I can get out with, I don't know, 300%. But we can see that there was still a massive further increase. We could have made 500%, or in this case even 600% was possible on what I bought down here fully automatically thanks to the trading bot. So this is a wonderful opportunity to buy in at the bear market bottom without emotions and to invest here with an amount that I have already set for myself in advance. And that would just be an example from the past. Now I want to show you when we go in what my current analysis is for the bear market bottom and why in this case, when I use my Fibonacci retracement here, you know this if you follow my channel. If not, check out the playlist, Learn Trading Step by Step to Become a Profit Trader. For me, $58,000 is very interesting because of the 0.618 Fibonacci level. Not only that, we also have liquidation levels down here, even as low as 54,000. But we don't know where the reversal will happen and I don't want to enter too deep. Besides, I can open several bots at the same time. That means my first bot would be at $58,000, which is where I want to open it. I've already prepared a little something for that. In this case, it would be right here. And how do I go about it when I do this here? And I'll show the same example on PIONEX as well. If I now enter my settings here, 0.7%, I again set 200% take profit. I'll remove that anyway. And now I want to put in $100 here. Another $100, 50 orders would now be $5,000. In my case, I say the first bot should start with about $10,000 because if we go lower, I would open another bot. This means I now have $10,212 here that I want to invest. After that, I have the option here under starting condition to select the price trigger. And now I have included the $58,000, click OK. And for the safety order parameters, I also leave the multiplier at 1. And this is how it would look now. But if I now say again that I want to know, in the case that I actually reach my possible bear market entry target here at $58,000 and it goes down due to the liquidation zones to 54,000 to 47,000 to 46,000. We actually don't see anything below that. However, possibilities do exist. I want to point that out. So far, we have always triggered the 0.786 Fibonacci in past bear markets. No matter how far back we go, that was always the final leg down where things really got ugly. And that's why I want to factor that in for myself during the buying phase, of course. And if I go back now and say, and want to know, where could my average purchase price be? Again, I use the 0.2% that I want to see here. Of course, I won't keep that. For me, this is just for preview purposes now, so I can see, okay, he starts buying at $58,000. Depending on how low I estimate the price, we pick up this liquidity, just as a small example, at $53,000, and then I go back to the trading bot. At $53,000, you would have bought 12 times here, and my average purchase price would be $55,633. And from that price, if it should rise again, I would be in profit. But if we continue to go down to around $39,000, let's say $40,000, I can check again and see that at $40,000, it would have bought about 43, 44, up to 45 times. And that would give me an average purchase price of about 48,300 to 48,500, depending on where it stops, where it makes a stop. In other words, 0.2% below this price. That would be my average purchase price. And that would be an incredibly brilliant average purchase price for my spot buys. Now, as I said, I can open several bots at the same time. And if I now think, okay, I don't just want to have this first bot because the liquidation zones around 54,000 look interesting, that's where I want to start again. But maybe also at 47,000, I can of course do that here using this price trigger. I can enter it here again and later I can set up a second bot, or I can set it up right away with a starting price of $54,000. Then I click on the preview and can also see where the average purchase price would be. So everything that's listed here, minus 0.2% again, because I set it up that way on purpose, so I know where my average purchase price would be. If I were to take a 0.2% take profit now, then I can decide, okay, up to $40,000 for my second bot. If we say that this might be our worst case bottom, then I would have my average purchase price in the second bot at 46,700 to 900. So everything minus 0.2%. But it's important to note again that, of course, I don't start this with 0.2%, but with 200%. And that's exactly my approach to optimally take advantage of a possible bear market bottom, allowing my DCA spot purchases to be made fully automatically in the background. Because we don't know, And I want to point this out again. If we look at it, there are times when you think that was the bottom, and then there's another quick leg down. So on a daily chart, it drops massively, then recovers, and you think you've missed it, but then it drops again and you buy again in that area, and then you think, okay, and it rises, but you miss it again. Then you might have missed a few good buying opportunities here that you wouldn't have made manually, for example, if it happened at night. And for this reason, I can have it done fully automatically. So you can see in detail what exactly the bot does, especially during such strong leg downs as we have here. Massive price drop, the bot buys, then it recovers, and with the next price drop, it buys again on the way down. And you can see here how strong these candles were. These were 4-hour candles. It bought here, it bought again here, and it did all of this for me fully automatically in the background. And if all of this happens at night and I were to miss it, of course I would be annoyed. And accordingly, this is exactly the strategy that I use. Now, just a quick word about PIONEX, because it works exactly the same way there, one-to-one. You go to spot, then to trading bot, DCA bot martingale, use the simple mode, and then, for example, you have Bitcoin here. I can also select other coins, click here on customize, and in this case, set it to 0.7%. You can also set it to 1% if you want to be more secure. I go in with 200%, specify my investment. It's made a bit easier here because I enter my maximum investment and say, I want to put in $500. But here, and this is very, very important, I have to set the volume scale to 1 and then set the maximum safety orders to 50. It should buy back as deep as possible, and that's it. Then I can start this bot. Now I click here on create. Then it asks me again if I really want to do everything this way, and I click OK. Here's a small example, since I have a running bot that's been open for a while. This was a test bot that I set up months ago, and I just want to quickly show you that with PIONEX, if I now say stop this bot, you can choose to have it sell the accumulated Ethereum for you, or not sell them and instead transfer them to your spot account. If I click OK here now, nothing else happens except that the collected Ethereum in here will be transferred to a spot account. And that's exactly how it works with PIONEX as well. Super simple, super easy. And I'm going to open this one bot here now. 0.7%. What do I have here as an entry price? I'll set that at 58,000 US dollars. And that's it for now to wrap things up. Now I have this 10,000 US dollar bot here, but I will withdraw these Bitcoins later. If I click on create here, I confirm it, and you can now see the investment. And this bot is now in standby mode until this price is reached. One question that might still be open, what happens if all the buy orders are triggered? Basically nothing at all. You can't get liquidated because it's a spot bot. It's just like buying spot and holding the coin. But what I can do on Bitget is I can increase my safety orders at any time. For example, I have the option to add 20 more. And it also shows you what investment is required for that. That would be option 1. Option 2 is I simply start another bot if I haven't reached all the safety orders. It's basically the same as if I were putting it into the bot. Option 3, which we also have, is simply to increase or reduce the position. This means that if I'm really far down and all the safety orders have been triggered and we drop even further, I have the option to make a one-time investment at a very low price, which allows me to lower my average purchase price even more than what the DCA bot alone would have done. But I can do the same thing on PIONEX. Here is this running test bot. If I go in here, I can select add investment once, enter the amount here, and also add something at market price at lower prices. And I get exactly the same end result as I just explained to you with Bitget. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of this strategy. Feel free to subscribe and leave a like, and we'll see each other again next time. Bye-bye.